Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing a lesson on how to juggle with 3 balls. Now, juggling is the art or skill of continuous throwing in a pattern. Now, with juggling, the main focus is it's okay to make mistakes. There's only one way to learn how to juggle, and that is through making mistakes. At the beginning, you're going to fail, you're going to drop the ball a lot, it's going to happen. So, in our lesson today, the main focus is if you're following along, if you're dropping the ball or if you're dropping your objects a lot, that's okay. Don't get frustrated, it'll come. You're going to learn from how you feel with the ball. For materials, there's a bunch of different things you could use for juggling. So today I'm showing you through lacrosse balls. There's something that I learned on and I really enjoy using. I like the weight of them. They're really dense. You can get juggling balls that are kind of like sand filled or kind of like hacky sacks. Those are really good because if you drop them, they don't bounce like a lacrosse ball. So you're not chasing it everywhere. Another industrial way of doing it is using oranges. So this was something I used when I was starting to learn just recently. I just taught myself how to juggle through kind of some YouTube videos, and I didn't have any balls, so I used oranges, and they're kind of nice because they're all usually about the same size, they're dense, and they're kind of just easy to throw and catch. So those are one way you can find something to juggle with. Now today I'm going to start with only one, and we're just going to get moving the ball. We're going to be kind of using the scoop method to throw the ball. And the scoop method is you're kind of catching it out here and you're throwing it out here. And with this, there's one thing I want you to focus on at the start. Is just getting a feel for the ball, feel for the weight, getting that ball kind of a little bit nice and high. But we're going to keep it in a certain area. We want to kind of draw a line using our shoulders. We're going to create like a little box that goes up to about here. And it just allows us to have a zone of where we want to be throwing the ball. Now, in this zone, if I create my little box, there's going to be 2 points. And in both points, it depends on which ball you're throwing. So if I'm throwing from my right hand, I want it to hit the kind of the left corner. And that's where I want it to go and drop and catch in my left. If I'm throwing with my left, I want it to go up to my right corner and catch in my right. That make kind of sense? It's the kind of the zone we want to be going in and creating that pattern with the balls. Now, once you're here and you're just kind of getting comfortable with feeling the speed of the ball, the heavy, like the weight of it, getting comfortable with it, we'll progress it too. But before I do that, there's also one thing I want you to focus on. When throwing the ball, I want you to stay in this plane. You're not going too far out. You're not throwing ahead of you. You're not throwing back towards you. You're throwing in a similar plane so your hands don't need to reach out too much. Make sense? We'll touch on that later. Step 2 is adding another ball to it. Now, this is the most important part because once you add 2 balls, this is where the pattern starts to come in. If I have my first ball, I always usually start with my dominant hand, and you can try with your dominant hand. If you're not comfortable with your dominant hand, you can do it with your other one. Do what feels comfortable, experiment with both. Again, it's okay to have some failure. That's why we're here to learn. In this, we're using that scoop motion. I want to be throwing it up to this corner, and I'm going to be catching it at my left. So it's up and catching it at my left. But the juggling aspect of it is when I throw this ball up, my first ball, I need to get rid of the other one in my hand. So when I throw it up, on the way down, when this ball's on its way down, that's where I want to throw this ball up. Now, this is where things might get a little bit out of hand. It's harder to do than you think. When this ball goes up, it's hard to kind of get this ball out of your hand, but you just need to trust and kind of learn. You might throw it away a few times, but you'll get the feel for it. So the first ball goes up. When it's coming, that's all it is. When the ball's on its way down, you kind of do that scoop method, throw it up and under, catch it in your right hand. Easy enough? I'll show it a few more times. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, I don't want to throw them kind of at the same time. I don't want to wait too long. I want to 1, 2. It's kind of a nice quick pattern. Now, see, I'm kind of getting the balls high enough where that I have time to kind of think about it, trace the ball with my eyes, and then I'm throwing the other ball, then I can catch it. Now, this is something you want to practice a lot, and this might take days, weeks, whatever it is. It's going to take a lot of attempts. You're going to find that it's really hard to kind of feel how hard to throw it. You might throw really far out in front of you. That's okay. We're here to make mistakes. I just want to get you guys going through the basics. Now, when it comes to 3 balls, this is where things get a little more intense. You're always going to have 2 balls in your throwing hand. Your first throwing hand is going to have the 2 balls in it. I always hold the one kind of with my pinky and my ring finger, then my middle finger, pointer finger, and thumb hold the first throw. Now, with this, it's the same idea as the 2 balls. I'm going to throw one up, throw the other one up, and catch it. That's with 2 balls. But now, I have a 3rd ball I need to get rid of. So when I throw my first ball, this ball needs to then roll into my throwing motion. So the throwing motion can kind of just be like a soft hold. You don't want to grip the ball real hard. You want it to be soft. You want to come out of your hand nice and easy. It should just kind of drop. Oh, see, there's a failure, and that's okay. It happens. Now, the thing with this is it's going to take practice. You're not going to get this right away, and that's okay. The first thing is up into that corner, keeping it in the box, and we're going to do it in a progression. So the first one is, if you can do our normal 1-2 with the 2 balls, keep doing that until you feel comfortable, and do it with the other ball in your hand. You get natural to feeling that weight there. So I'm going to go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And then when I'm feeling confident enough, when that second ball is on its way down, I'm going to release the 3rd one again. So just like we learned with releasing that ball in the left hand, so watching the yellow ball here, when I throw this first white one up, I'm throwing the second yellow up, and before the yellow then goes and hits my right hand, my first throwing hand, I'm going to throw the ball up once again, and then I'm going to catch it in my left. Ready? So it's 1, 2, get rid of it, 3, and now I have my 2 balls in my left hand. And now if you can start to figure that out, try getting that down as many times as you can. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, catch. 1, 2, 3, catch. And just keep progressing it. Start with your dominant hand, whatever you're comfortable with. You can start with your left or your right. So if you're starting with your left, it's the same motion. It's starting up with that scoop, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, catch. All right. Now, once you're comfortable with that, we're going to add 4. And you just do it 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the balls are caught in this hand. Ready? So we're going to do it again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're thinking of the scooping motion. We're keeping it in our frame, getting comfortable with that nice easy flow, the throw of it as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! See? I made a mistake. And that's why you don't use lacrosse balls to practice, because they bounce everywhere and they can damage your walls because they're very hard. That's all I got right now. So I'm going to get going on here again. So let's go with our 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get going with 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, catch. Now if I can keep doing 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to progress to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just get up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, catch. Once you get 5 or 6, then you're just going to learn that you can do it continuously. The key takeaways here, I want you to think about are higher throws. I struggle with higher throws right now. I'm kind of in a small basement, so I can't really throw it up crazy high. But getting a nice arc on your ball, you want to get nice and high so it gives time to your hands to get adjusted to the motion. Once you're more comfortable with that, you can start speeding it up and getting a little shorter. I personally like juggling more in this position now because I'm not having to throw it as hard. And when you throw it hard, the throw kind of gets a little bit more out of control. So if I'm going up, I tend to release the ball a little too hard. That's something I'm still learning myself. But yeah, that's kind of the progression of juggling. Once you get to comfortable with your 5 or 6, just keep going and learn how to fail. But thank you. That's everything.